everybody. Welcome to today's live. For those of you that are new inside the group, welcome. I'm Lori Joy. Today, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 things that I wish I did differently than when I first started my online business. Hello, Kimberly. Lovely to see you. I'm going to walk you through the top 3 things, but I want to point out why I'm doing this training today is because what happened is over the 11 years of being online, I have learned a plethora of things in order to elevate my business and my brand. And if I can save you any heartache, mishap, time spent where it shouldn't be, I'm hoping that this training is going to resonate with you. One thing I want to talk about is diversification inside of your business. So whether you're a network marketer or you're working towards a program that you're inviting people to, we're going to talk about why diversifying right away isn't what you should be doing and why, right? The next thing I want to talk about is how to scale from the start, how to set up your business so that you can scale naturally and it doesn't have to be overwhelming, because this will save you so much time and so much money. I have lots of stories to talk to you about this. And then I want you to, bottom line, ladies, start choosing the right business that's for you and your lifestyle. And I'm going to talk about my lifestyle, what's been happening over the 11 years, and why this business that I do fits my schedule and my lifestyle, and why I want it to work for you. So let's dive in today. Again, the top 3 things I wish I did differently when I first started my online business. I have been doing this for 11 years, being online. And it started off as a proud network marketer, which many of you in this particular group are. And it has evolved into running a program, which I do through this particular group. It's not open right now, but in the fall it will be. And I teach entrepreneurs how to have 5-figure launches using 5-day boot camps. And I take the fluff out of it and I make it simple, and we make it repeatable. And I learned a lot of valuable lessons as a network marketer. In fact, when I first started network marketing, I was sitting at convention. If any of you are a network marketer, you can just put NM in the comments. And what happened was I was sitting in a room at convention, right? Didn't really know what was happening. I was there to support a friend. I didn't really even know anything about network marketing. And I had this aha moment where I was sitting amongst 17,000 people, and I was watching all of these very ordinary people walk on stage, and they were doing extraordinary things with their business and their life. And I sat in that seat, and at that moment, I thought, why not me? And so this is how this whole thing evolved, how I ended up being here, how I ended up growing this group, how I've switched and done the diversification many times. And that's why I want to talk to you about that. So let's talk about this very first point that I want you to kind of hear and listen to. And it may make you uncomfortable for me to say this, or for you to hear this. And in fact, it took me a little while to wrap my head around it. But once I did, there was no stopping the business. This business went from a hobby to a 6-figure business immediately when I stopped doing this. All right. So I remember when I first started online, I was working with moms. Right now, I work with entrepreneurs. And tell me who you work with in the comments. So who do you serve? Who is your audience? Who is your ideal client? Who is your niche? However you want to word it. Who are you helping with your online business? Put it in the comments. So what happened is I was working with moms, right? I was working with them, and I started to diversify. I started to do all the things. This is a nice way of saying that I was doing all the things and I was doing too many. So I remember I had a coach a number of years ago, and she came on a live training with us. Okay, women. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Shelly. I'm going to come back to you, Kimberly, about your women niche here. So one thing she said when we were on a call, she said, stop doing all the things and do one thing until you make $1 million. And it kind of hit me like really hard. I was like, did she just say that? Do one thing until you make $1 million. And I sat with this, and I still sit with this today and think about how this affects my business. Now, when I was working with moms, I wanted to do all the things. I had working with moms, I had working with the kids, I had doing boot camps. I was doing live events. I was speaking on stages. I was making products that I could sell. I was writing a book and publishing. I was doing so many things. And what happens is because we think we need to fulfill all the spaces in our ideal client's life and solve all of their problems, that I started diversifying right away. And it wasn't until I heard this particular line, do one thing until you make a million, where I sat back and I stopped and I put everything down and I was like, yes, I'm going to do one thing. Now, if any of you have been here for a while, so Kimberly Shelley, if you have been here for a while, or if you're just brand new, you are going to hear me talk about the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, often. So in 2019, prior to COVID, I decided that I was going to read a book a month. And I'm an avid reader, voracious learner. I love a good personal development book. And so what happened is I decided to read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and it gave me the permission to stop doing all the things. It was like this huge weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. And someone said, stop being on all the social media channels, stop doing all of the things. And then I remember that line, do one thing until you make a million. And I thought, if I can stick to the one thing, then I can make this happen. And if you don't have that book in your repertoire, if you haven't read it, you have to get it. Put it on your reading list from now until the end of the year, and then come back to me and tell me how much you love it. As an entrepreneur, come back to me and tell me how much you love it. And if you have read it, you can tell me in the comments and you can tell me how much you love it. So what happened is I stopped doing all the things and I decided I was going to do one thing for 1 year. So imagine what happens in our business when we say we would like to be a six-figure earner in 1 year. How many of you, in watching the replay or watching the live, would 1 year from now like to have a six-figure business? I want to know in the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Okay. Maybe it's not about the money. Maybe it's just about, maybe it's a five-figure business. Maybe it's a seven-figure business. Whatever it is, 1 year from today, would you like to have a self-sustaining, running business, right? With a small team or with you and a bigger team? Yes, Kimberly says. Yes, Team Ann says, right? Absolutely. Who wouldn't? But what happens is when we think about 1 year from now, right? Are you going to allow yourself to be the master of one thing? So now I saw what I did is I stopped when I read that one book and I thought back to my business in the past and I thought, what is the one thing that I did that gave me the most ROI, the highest return on investment in my business? And it was running 5-day boot camps. And I thought, I have this beautiful golden nugget that I need to teach more female entrepreneurs, because the more 5, 6, and 7-figure female entrepreneurs we have, the better this world is going to be. And I thought, I am going to take this framework that I had been using in my business forever, and I'm going to teach and make it simple so that everybody else can be enjoying the fruits of their labor and selling out their business, whether it be network marketing or whether it be a program. And I decided I was going to do the one thing for 1 year. And I thought, what have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? I'm not really making money in my business consistently right now. So a year from now, what do I have to lose? And when I did this, when I stuck to the one thing, when I taught how to run a 5-day boot camp, every 6 weeks, I did it for 1 year. We had a six-figure business in 9 months. It didn't even take us a year to get there. We had it in 9 months. So when we're thinking about diversifying and having products and doing multiple network marketing and having programs and then doing all of the things, right? Even just think of social media channels. How many social media channels are you on? I teach my ladies to pick one, become an expert at it, hang your hat on it. Your audience is there. You'll find them, start attracting them, be consistent. But when we're like on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on Instagram, on Facebook, it's very hard to stay in our lane. And so whether it's diversification of like events and products and network marketing and programs, or it's diversification in terms of your social media channels, it's the same thing. So one thing I wish that I had done way back when I started, ladies, was just do the one thing. Don't diversify. Don't put all that pressure on yourself. Just hang your hat on one social media channel. Your audience is there. Become a master at it. Become consistent at it, and do one thing for 1 year. Now, of course, I want you to run boot camps for 1 year, right? And some of my ladies are doing that, and they are seeing incredible results by the rinse and repeat process that we do. So I wish I had had this when I first started. So if you're first starting, or you're just getting into this boot camp thing, or you've done a boot camp and it hasn't really given you the launch that you wanted, this is a lesson I wish that I had learned and someone had shared with me back then. Okay, so that's number one. Let's go on to number two. Have a way to scale from the start. Now, this is going to come into a little bit of mindset training, and this may be uncomfortable for you to hear as well, but we have to stop treating our business as a hobby in order for it to scale at the rate that we want it to. A lot of us will say, I can't invest in my business until I'm making money in my business. So what I want to do is I want to give you a little scenario. If you were to open a brick and mortar business, if we were to have a store here, right? You come in and the doors are open and you're standing in the brick and mortar store, say it's a clothing boutique, and you don't have one stitch of clothing in it. And someone comes into your store and they're like, oh, this is a grand opening. And you're like, yes, welcome. It's so wonderful to have you here. And they're like, looking like there's nothing in the store. And your mindset is, well, I couldn't invest and buy the stock before I started to sell it. I couldn't invest in my business before I started to make money. We would never do that in a brick and mortar store. But we think like this all the time when it comes to an online business. It's a crazy mindset. So some of us think, I cannot spend a dime on a coach, or I cannot spend a dime on a CRM system, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. I cannot spend a dime building this business until I start to get clients. And it's a backwards way of thinking. It's about investing in your business so that you can attract the ideal clients in order to build a relationship with them so that they will get to know, like, and trust you and then buy from you. That's the premise here. So a couple of things that I wish that I had done in relation to scaling from the start. This was not a problem I had. I have invested countless times in my business. If you have invested countless times in your business, then put that in the comments. Let me know. If you're an investor, just put invest. But here's some things that strategically I wish that I had purchased, invested in when I first started. So a CRM system. So no matter if you have a network marketing business or if you have a program, if you're running or creating a program for people, you have to have what is called a customer relationship management system, right? Kimberly has invested. Yeah, exactly, Kim. But are we strategically investing, right? So a CRM system allows you, Team Ann, right? Team Ann has done that, allows you to start relationship building with your people. So customer relationship management system, a lot of you, right, have, you need a way to obtain email in order to give your people a freebie or an email or tips and tricks, and just start to build that communication with yourself. Now, when I first started, I just had something that I could send emails from. Then, a little way longer, I had to buy something where I could build sales pages from. Then, a little way longer, I had to invest in something else to make funnels. And what happens right now is we have a system, right? Those of you that invest in Launch It Live Academy, we have a CRM system where it incorporates everything, and it's cheaper than all of those things put together. It's called Launch Hive. And right now it's just for my students. But a CRM system that does it all will save you money down the road. So keep that in mind. Another thing you want to do is start to pay attention to your numbers, right? Because if you can pay attention to the people, not so much your followers, because that's bogus metrics, and it's not even the amount of people in your Facebook group, right? Because we have a great Facebook group here, and there's a lot of people that we don't hear from, which is fine. But it's the email addresses. Hence, we're talking about scaling from the start and having a comprehensive CRM system. So when you can pay attention to your numbers, how many email addresses are you bringing into your business on a daily basis? Right? For a long time, my number was 0, right? And I had to start to think about that. How am I going to build a relationship with these people if I can never communicate with them? And it's beyond emails, right? It's funnels and all of that good stuff. Another thing I want you to think about is when we're talking about scaling from the start, is although a lot of us are when we first begin our online journey, are in a 9-to-5 job, either full-time or part-time, I want you to start treating your business as an actual business, as opposed to a hobby, something you're kicking on the side, right? A lot of us like to call it side gig. Let's negate that and really call it your business. Let's get in this mindset that you are the CEO of your business and you just have limited open hours. And what I want you to do is to start scheduling your business into your life. So something I did was I would sit down, and because I'm a visual person, most of us are, if you just have a calendar and you start to map out like non-negotiables, so things like you have to do. So let's use the 9-to-5 job example. If you're in a job 9-to-5, you got to take those hours off your plate. You're doing a job. You don't have time to start squeezing in, things here and there, right? In network marketing, we always hear that, squeeze in a couple of hours here and squeeze in a couple of hours there. And then you end up context switching and you're not fully focused and you're not fully there. I want you to schedule your business like you're the CEO of it, right? Schedule it like it's a non-negotiable and you have to be there. It's a meeting, albeit with yourself. It's still something that you have to attend. And when you start to treat your business like a business, instead of being all over the place doing all of the things, you're going to start to see clarity. You're going to start to see momentum, consistency. So be kind to yourself, ladies, and give yourself some grace and space in order for you to schedule your business into your lives, right? So is there a non-negotiable time on the weekend where you can sit and focus for an hour or two and everybody knows that you're working on your business? Do not walk in. I have a funny story to tell you about this. It was a network marketing lady on she wasn't on my team, but she was in my business. And she had little ones. And she said what she did is she got them all to make vision boards of things that they wanted when mommy hit, a certain status in her network marketing business, so that she could take them, say, on a holiday. So they made all of these vision boards and then she put them on the outside of her office door. And that's where they hung. And when she said, like, mommy's in office hours, like, do not disturb, those vision boards hung there because every time they bothered her, every time they interrupted her, it took her focus away from what she was building, and they could be the benefactor of it. So I thought that was just a wonderful, I always remember that story, a wonderful, wild way to not only incorporate your kids, for them to see and know that you're busy building a business, right? Busy building a business, right? Don't just, think you can like do something on the fly at lunch. And meanwhile, you're trying to eat your lunch at your desk and your coworkers are bothering you and you're trying to work your business. So stressful. Just put it on your calendar, make it non-negotiable. The last thing that I wish that I knew then that I know now is to choose the right business for you. Now, there is a lot of ways to reach an audience and teach them something or change their life these days online. And whether that be part of a network marketing company or whether that be you're creating your own program from something that you've done that you want to share with more people, I want to encourage you to choose the right business for you. But what does that mean? When my ladies, my clients come into the Launch It Live Academy, this is the first module that they go to. And it's really about, yes, I'm going to show you how to run a live launch before you make an offer. Right? That's exactly what I'm going to do. And although we're all doing that, I want my ladies to create a business that resonates with them and their schedule and their life, and not build something that I'm doing. I don't want your business to look like mine. I want your business to be yours so that you can love your business, so that you can work in your business, so that you can set the boundaries for your business. And in order to do that, you have to choose the right business for you. So my network marketing ladies, if you're going to love this business and you're going to work this business, I want you to you have to love the products, but more importantly, you really have to know that compensation plan. And all compensation plans for network marketing businesses are not made the same. So yes, you might love this product, but you might have to work so hard in order on the back end to make $20. Whereas you can put in the same amount of work with another product and make $100. So when you're a CEO of a business, you are making that big decision. Yes, I love these products and maybe I'll just use them and love them in my life. But if I'm going to build a business, I need to search out an incredible compensation plan so that you're properly compensated for the work that you're doing. Now, luckily, I stumbled into a network marketing business that has an incredible, never ending, like it doesn't stop paying you at 6 or the 9 level. It's never ending compensation plan. And I didn't learn that until I was in it. But had I not had the compensation plan I had, I would have left. And I would have enjoyed maybe the products, but I would have built a business someplace else. So that's kind of one of the things I want you to think about. I also want you to be on social media to create your business, the content for your business. I often will tell my ladies, we are not on social media to ingest it. That's not what we're here. That's not what social media is for us anymore. When you're building a business, the only time you're on social media is to deliver the content to your ideal audience. Because when you start going down the social media trap of doing this, comparison is killing you. It's going to stop you in your tracks. And this is what happened is when I took myself off of social media from this to just creating valuable content for my ideal audience, my mindset, right? And my confidence was good. But when you're on looking at everybody else and what they're doing as opposed to delivering content for your ideal client, this comparison will knock you down every single time. Because some of you are coming at me and you've just met me and I'm 11 years into the gig, right? Some of you are going to run into people who are 20 years into the gig. You cannot compare yourself with others at this moment. So think about social media and how you can use it to your advantage. And you're on there just delivering amazing content to your people. Another thing I want you to do, and I have learned this lesson, is quit asking permission. You, at the end of the day, ladies, have to put your head on the pillow and, think about all those thoughts and love the life of which you have. And if you keep asking permission of people to do things, you're going to find yourself stifled. So here's what happened in my situation, and maybe you can find yourself in this particular story. When I first started online, I was blissfully ignorant. Okay. I just went online. I put my question out there. Who ladies would like to do this in a Facebook group? I had 67 women say yes. I ran a 5-day boot camp and I had a $10,000 launch with no website, no email autoresponder, no fancy connections. I had a Facebook group and Periscope. 2 things I had, but I was blissfully unaware of what's happening in the online space. Now I'm much more aware, and sometimes it stops me from doing that imperfect action. So I want you to stop, comparing yourself. I want you to choose the business for yourself, and I want you to quit asking permission. So yes, you may have a coach. My ladies they have me as their coach, and I give them permission with a grain of salt, right? At the end of the day, they get my feedback, but at the end of the day, they have to make their business work for them, and they have to love it. And I encourage that. And I encourage you to quit asking permission and just go out there and do your thing. And of course, right? Don't worry what others will say. You just want to be your best self. Now, I come from the education sector, right? So I was a teacher and university professor for 20 plus years. And when I started doing something else, when I was pivoting to something else, a lot of people in my life started to ask that question, what is it that you're doing? And it was funny because I like to think of myself as Teflon, where things just kind of slide off. I have that kind of personality. But a lot of us, right, when we're asked or we're questioned or people are commenting or saying things, right? Like I had one of my fellow coworkers say, hey, Lori, what is it that you're doing online? And I was like, I'm not getting into this. And I just kept eating my lunch. And he says, well, I can't make fun of it if I don't know what it is. And I was like, yeah, exactly. I just kept eating my lunch. So what happens is when we start to change and evolve and elevate not only ourselves, but our personal growth, but what we want in the world, people are going to talk. And again, at the end of the day, when you put your head on your pillow, are we worried about what others say or what it is that we're doing and fulfilling our life? And I hope you're choosing the latter. I often say, if they're going to talk, let's give them something to talk about. Right? Right. So when we think about starting off in our business and going through, because a number of you in this group, you tell me you're just starting out, whether that's network marketing or you want to build a program, and this is the place for you. Because if you want to start launching and selling out your business, putting a live launch prior to making that offer is going to skyrocket your launch results. And so when we're just doing the one thing, right, and we're not diversifying, we're just staying in our lane and doing one thing for 1 year, 1 year from now, your business can look different. When you have a way to scale and reach your people from the start, which might mean a little bit of an investment from you per month, it's okay. It's something we have to do. And then we want to choose the business that's right for us, because again, this is our life. This is the way our schedule runs, or, it may work around your family schedule. Either way, in order for you to be consistent and show up all the time, you want a beautiful business that is for you. Now, I loved having you here in this particular live. If you're catching the replay, ask questions, put comments in there. I'm going to come back, Kim, and I'm going to write a little comment to you, a little bit of coaching on your niche when you say you serve women. So remember or watch for that in the comments. I'm here live every noon Eastern on Mondays to give you live training that can move you forward. So I hope that you learned something here today that you can move forward and now implement in your business. If anything, it's reading The One Thing by Gary Keller. I can't wait to see you till next Monday. Thanks everyone for being here. Big love and hug.